Alright, your head line. It's your head and your spine line. It's going to tell you how smart you are by how straight across your palm it goes. But if you got any problems in that spine, it's going to show you with those little island marks. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to tell you this not because I'm just a palm reader. I've actually got a master's degree in health education. And I was finishing my master's degree in health ed in my 40s. I'm an old school teacher. And I started reading these palmistry books when I was finishing my master's degree. And it told me about how you can see all the health stuff in the hands, which was quite interesting. But I picked up this old book written by an old medical doctor whose name was Dr. Eugene Scheiman. I can't give you the name of the book. It's out of print now. But he told how you could see the spine in the head and the spine line. And I started doing that when I was doing readings, and by golly, it works. And sometimes my charts that I write match right up with the people's x-rays on their spine. You can see it by those little islands that show up on that headline. So find your chart that says Understanding Your Cervical Spine, and down at the bottom that is a picture of a vertebrae, and the vertebrae, of course, is the bony process that surrounds your spinal cord. And then off of each side of the vertebrae, a nerve comes off that spinal cord, and it goes out into different areas of the body: your head, your nose, your eyes, your neck, your heart, your lungs, your stomach. And then those nerves end in your hands and your feet. So find your chart that says Chart of Effects of Spinal Misalignments, and look at the spine on the left hand side there. That's all the vertebrae stacked up on your spine. Then see the next column says vertebrae. That's the name of the vertebrae: cervical, thoracic, lumbar, tailbone. Then the next column is the areas that those nerves go to that come off of each one of those vertebrae: your head, your scalp, your eyes, your cheeks, your ears, your face, your nose, your thyroid, your arms, your heart, your lungs, your stomach, pancreas, etc. And then the last column is the effects. And that's the effects that you get if that vertebrae is turned out of place. Headaches, nervousness, depression, sinus trouble, anxiety attacks, asthma, bronchitis, gallbladder problems, heart problems, stomach trouble. Oh, where did I see that heart? Oh. And it can, so that column on the effects, it goes down and lists all the serious illnesses or problems, and it doesn't include all of them. But when that spine is misaligned, it turns, those little vertebrae turn out of place, and it sits on that nerve, and it pinches that nerve. That nerve goes out into the body, and it sends a little pain signal out into the body. Well, those intermesh with the muscles, and when it hits that muscle gets muscle spasm, and then it holds that vertebrae out of place because it's got a muscle spasm in it. So look back on your hand chart, or the hand analysis chart. See where I've circled in the red areas? That's where your spine is out of place. So underneath that Jupiter finger, that's going to show your cervical vertebrae, 1 through 7. Underneath that Saturn finger, this is starting in between the thumb and the Jupiter finger. Underneath the Saturn finger will show your thoracic spine, 1 through 12. Underneath the Sun finger will show your lumbar spine, 1 through 5. And underneath that Mercury finger, it shows the tailbone, the sacrum, the coccyx. So underneath that Jupiter finger, I don't think you're out at the very top, the 1C, 2C. You can check that and see stand up straight and turn your head to the left. See if you can get your chin across your left shoulder. And then turn your head to the right and see if you can get your head across your chin across your right shoulder. If you can't get that across either one of those shoulders, you're kind of turned out of place in that atlas and axis, and you'll have to do what it says on the back of that sheet that says understanding your cervical spine. Go see a craniosacral specialist that can put that back in place. But I don't think you're out in that very top. But you're out about the rest of the way through there. Underneath that Jupiter finger, you're out in that 3C, all the way down to 7C. And that whole thoracic area, under the Saturn finger, that's kind of out of place. There's a couple of places you're not quite out. And then if you're out at the top part of that spine, it's going to throw you out the opposite way in the lower part of the spine to compensate. So you're out in that lower spine, and I say that's turned out the opposite way so that you can stand up straight. Otherwise you'd be standing crooked. So you're out in that lumbar area, 1 through, well, I don't know if you're out through 5. I didn't see it too far over. I don't see the tailbone out of place either. Boy, if that tailbone's out of place, you'd know it. You'd have sciatica so bad you couldn't stand it. In relation to that head and spine line is the health line. See, it's right underneath that money line. It runs vertical on a slant. It starts at the pate line, goes up towards the mercury finger. And that's your internal organs, your spleen, your liver, the bowels, the stomach, usually things in the lower part of your body. And you should have one clean line that goes up there. You're getting a couple of lines in there, and one's got a little bit of a break in it. Oh no, it did not. No, you had 2 just clean lines in there. So you're getting some slight stress in that lower part of your body, but if you leave that spine out of place, that'll get worse. And in that that'll stress that lower part of that spine. You really need to go see a chiropractor and get straightened up.